How's it going, everyone? How's it going? Welcome to Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Thursday, as I am. I'm a week out from tax season. I'm probably at 50% recuperated right now, but I'm on my way. So I hope you guys kind of feel my energy. Want to say welcome to my awesome producer, DJ Lab.
Hey.
The man here. And also say hey to my assistant, Joni. Joni will be moderating the Facebook Live, the Facebook Live page with the stream that's on there. So anything that you guys are chiming in on through Facebook, Joni will be managing that. Yep, see Joni on there. Instagram now. Nope, need you on Facebook. We got an awesome show today. We're going to be tonight's show. We're going to be asking a question: how much do you put in your influencers? And many people, you have a lot of people in your life that you love and trust, and you believe what they say, and we don't necessarily sit down and question it. Not necessarily in a bad way, but just wondering like. Because sometimes you hear I'm just like, that shit don't sound right.
Yeah.
Daddy told me that, but hey, this, that, and that. You heard your uncle or somebody, your boss.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, they ain't. You wonder. But what I want to talk about tonight in terms of just how much trust you put in your influencers. Do you get led down a blind path? And we want to just kind of go through different things as far as identifying who our influencers are, what kind of influencers there are out there, and also ways to avoid. People that, try to be influencers for you, towards you in a negative way.
Okay.
So we got a real exciting show planned for you today. Again, my name is Deonte Burden. What I normally do, at the beginning of the show, kind of rehash my previous week. So again, like I just told you, I'm still recuperating from this tax season. I'm the owner of Majestic Business Services. Had an awesome tax season. Everything's going pretty good right now. We're just kind of getting back on top of probably like a lot of the late filers, people that did the extensions and stuff, and that's typically how it goes. The first 3 weeks right after the tax season is over with. Going through that right now. Also getting phased into right now more of the bookkeeping and payroll services that we provide, and most importantly, those consulting services. So we got all that stuff coming in right now. And again, I put out. We have tentatively set up to have the web courses, maybe the webinar starting at the end of May, somewhere around Memorial Day and stuff like that. So keep posted on that. I don't want to go into June with it, but we may have to. But I'll keep everyone posted on that. But that's the tentative schedule for everything with those web courses and everything. But we'll do a strong promotion prior to all that coming out. Excuse me. I want to give a big shout out to my son PJ. That's Deonte Jr., Chutney Jr. He yesterday he came up short in his region meet. He ran the 300-meter hurdles. The top four go. He came in 5th place. Okay. And if you guys know PJ, I can't stress to you how proud I am with PJ, because PJ is the epitome of hard work, because he's come a long way. Mm-hmm. Whereas he went to the Nationals two years straight, and for him to come, almost to making the sectionals, whereas I don't think no one 5 years ago would have thought PJ could walk fast. Okay. But the brother put in so much work,
right,
over the years, and he didn't give up on himself, and most importantly, me and my wife didn't give up on him, and what he was trying to do, because it's easy a lot of times when you're doing stuff. Mm-hmm. And you're not getting positive results to want to quit. But I always say, you just keep chopping on that wood, it happens. Right. So for him to get weight, and I think he'll be right there next year as a senior. He'll put himself in position to get him a track scholarship and everything. So I'm super excited, super proud for PJ. Came up short. But, God, man, I can't even just, from where he's came to where he is right now, man, it ain't never hard work.
Right.
It ain't never hard work. That's it. I mean, just from, not even being in any kind of consideration to like, okay, yeah, now you're in a conversation. That's just hard work. And I think he sees that now and everything. So big shout out to PJ. I'm real proud of you for that. This Saturday, well, let's go to tomorrow. Everyone knows I'm in the 100 Black Men South Metro chapter. This weekend we have our annual dinner, but tomorrow we got the pinning ceremony at the Marriott Marquis, where we the new inductees They come, they get their pen on the jacket and everything, have their family and stuff. I'm gonna go because that's real good hors d'oeuvres. So, and drinks and hors d'oeuvres on point. And I ain't finna turn down no free food and liquor.
I know, right?
You know, so so you know I'll be in the house.
I know, right?
And then Saturday we got our flagship event, which is our Celebration of Excellence dinner. That's gonna be at the Marriott Marquis this Saturday, April 27th at 6:00. We're gonna be having a lot of scholarships given out to the kids. I mean, a whole lot of money is going to be given out and everything. Those young men, they work hard for it. Our Rites of Passage program, where we get young men in usually from 9th grade through the 12th. We have some kids come in maybe 10th, 11th grade, but typically get you in at 9th grade. Is nationally recognized as probably the top mentor program in all of 100 Black Men of America.
Wow.
And another sidekick, my brother Kenneth Hill, he was in the Mirror 100 program with me last year, but Kenneth just got awarded the National Mentor of the Year.
Oh, really?
So our chapter has actually had, I think, 3 out of the past 4 years, 3 of the National Mentors of the Year.
Oh, wow.
I mean, just, hardworking brothers over there. And it's real cool because, again, what I do like about what we do, I love, the mentoring the youth, but it's a classic example of when you have people in the room that don't always see eye to eye, where you see that come and go, which is the kids and mentoring, being able to get everything together. So again, we got that Celebration Excellence dinner this Saturday and everything. So I'm super excited about that and everything.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah. And getting to our show, we start talking about is how much people put in influencers. When I was thinking about this, when I was just thinking about getting this show together, I don't know about most people. Sometimes I wake up maybe a little early than I'm normally supposed to wake up.
Right.
And you see some of the religious shows.
Right.
And, the guy, you might see the guy. The pastor may be selling, he's talking and he's having like the little infomercial.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, I can make a lot of stuff happen right now, but I just need you guys to just buy one of these prayer cloths, and then they have everybody getting their testimonials.
Right.
Like, I bought this prayer cloth. I lost my job and I had cancer, and I bought the prayer cloth, and I did what the pastor said, and I put it on my head, and I wiped my chest with it. And next thing you know, I'm cancer free. And the next thing, then I got $1 million, and it was just like people were just like, wow.
Right.
And you see this guy. It's always use the white pastor, sometimes black pastor, but they had that real fake ass looking toupee,
right?
And them blings on his hand, them blings,
right,
and everything, and they were just pushing it out and doing it. And you see so many people were like, "Wow, this is a miracle!" And in my mind, I'm just sitting here looking like this is like you wake up anytime and night, you see the same kind of stuff.
Yeah, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly.
4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Exactly. And then sometimes especially what's real big. Got religion. Other thing is health, health and wellness. And you see the infomercial. It was some kind of like a rocker. Mm-hmm. Everybody was on there and stuff like that. Now they don't never have the before and after with the equipment.
There's always
brother come
after.
out there cut. He just
right,
doing it.
Right,
He just
right.
rocking and rolling and everything. They're like, man, I use the rocker every day, man. And he got, like he's just been drawn on there. And then you see the chunky brother. He just sweating like hell. He rocking and twisting. They never show the after with him. Because, that's the before and after with his ass. Right. He rocking like hell every day and stuff. And, they were just sitting there doing it and stuff. Man, you can just imagine these folks are making millions of dollars because people have things that they want, and they pulling at people's heartstrings to do that.
Yeah.
And just those influencers just coming out there. You know?
Yeah. I think people have to be smarter about who they let influence them,
and
use common sense. Remember, we talked about this before in one of the other shows about using your common sense. Yeah, you can listen to them, but at the same time, you gotta separate that what they're talking about with common sense and say, I mean, I could buy a prayer cloth and maybe get $1 million, but is that really gonna happen? You gotta think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But the strange thing about it, we're just even talking about this lab, is that a lot of times you have people that are extremely intelligent, that are just, you can't even shake them on certain things, but it seems like everybody got that button.
Right.
You got that person that musician, just something that you kind of like. I'm a little different with that.
Right.
I don't care. They'll never be wrong.
Right.
I'm always gonna listen to that. Just the smartest people that are always gonna be objective. But everyone has that one thing. It may be, sometimes maybe a parent, whatever. It's just everybody has that one. I don't think no one's 100% totally just like you said, just using common sense.
Right.
There's something. Everyone has something, that they can push their button. Whatever, just let logic go out the goddamn.
It's always something that will push or pull a person.
Yeah.
There's always something, be it money, food, whatever it is. There's always something. I'm gonna give you a good example. The girl who became a self-made billionaire with her phony company, which was that engine company where she would take one drop of blood and she can tell you about if you got AIDS. You run all your diagnosis tests off that one drop of blood.
Elizabeth Holmes.
But it was phony. The company wasn't a real company. She wasn't really doing those things. What she was doing was taking that drop of blood, going back there and using those old things and running the program and running the test on you that way. But people were so influenced by the money that they could make from that one drop of blood, didn't do any research into how it will work or anything, that they just started investing all this money into her company, making her richer and richer. And by the time, at one point she was worth like $3 or $4 billion. But it was all fun. But that was those persons' button, that money, if I invest $300 million now, I could probably make $300 billion later because this thing gonna blow up. But they didn't take time to use their common sense and think about it. You see what I'm saying?
I did a case study on that with Theranos when I was in when I was in grad school, and the last thing that would have came on my, because I'm looking at the, probably like you just said, everybody looking at potential money they could make and everything. The last damn thing that ran across my mind was she was lying. That was that was the last thing that came across my mind, that she was lying about the product she was putting out and everything. But like you just said, when we have things that kind of pull on our heartstrings, logic go out the damn window. You know what I mean? Just we got, every guy when they growing up, you got that one girl she can get over on you.
Right.
Every woman, she just can be the, the most solid, strongest sister out there and everything. That one dude, hey sugar. Every other brother got hell, but that one dude, shit. She turned into butter.
It's always that one.
Hey, man. That's it. But, influence is defined as, influencers define anybody that has the capacity to affect your character, development, or your behavior. So that's why we're looking, as far as how influencers define. And I really wanted to when we go into the show, to kind of give, different types of influencers that are out there, start initially with that. And what I came up with 5 things that are influencers. The first being, people. Those people may be your family members. Again, we just hashed on that. It's just amazing how, regardless of how intelligent or how you grow in life, how much weight you put into, listening to family members and everything. Especially if you're talking about, your parents and
grandparents.
They can't tell you wrong. Can't tell you wrong.
If you got solid grandparents, like me and you were raised by ours. It was very hard for me to, and I guess that was my button back then. It was like, my grandmother Madea said anything, it was law. Madea could have been like, "You see them rats flying across there?" I'm like, "Yup," because it was just law to me.
It took me a long time to even come to grasp. Anybody know, especially knowing my grandfather, because my grandfather raised me, but he was also like a surrogate to all my friends. So none of us had daddies. So he was like a surrogate to all. It was never for me to come home and one of my buddies got his car in my driveway, my granddad out there helping him fix on the car that I knew nothing about. I see pictures sometimes with other guys in the neighborhood, my granddaddy tying their ties, they go on their dance. He was just like surrogate to the whole neighborhood, as far as that. And when I became an adult, there was a lot of things that he did that weren't right.
Right.
That, like, okay, as you see it. But, again, it's still, he just did it. Right. I never, even the stuff, he didn't do nothing horrendous and everything like that. But it's just some things that, he just did it.
Right.
And everything. But it's just like, I know, like, that was granddaddy.
Right.
And he can have it and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, that's true. My granddaddy did the same thing. It was just certain things he just did.
Mm-hmm.
And but back then, man's man, it wasn't. They don't ask for permission. They just do, But even still,
Different era.
yeah, different era, different raised differently. Raised, I'm gonna say raised a lot harder than we had to be raised because, going through, Jim Crow laws and all that. Because even though we lived in Chicago, my grandparents were from Mississippi, so they a little bit harder, but it still was the fact that when we were younger, even though they did those things wrong,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't see it because, like I said, it was just, to me, it was just law. It was just, I didn't question. I mean, and even though they said you don't question us, I still wouldn't have questioned them. Even if they never said it, it was like, that's the way it is.
Because you kept them, you kept it at such a high esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Even you knew that was wrong, you just kind of pushed it off.
Right.
And everything, and that's what influence can do. And so we're talking about as far as people, those family members, mentors, and hell, musicians.
You're a musician.
Athletes.
Mm-hmm.
You see some of these guys. You see one big thing that kind of been sticking with me, especially with the playoffs. You see some of the guys they very damn sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
The media guys. Some of the media guys are asking questions.
Right.
What do you think about the game? Man, I want to answer that. But hey man, that's part of being professional.
I mean, you make $30 million a year for
Exactly.
this part. This is part of the job.
Exactly. Now, even spinning off that, you look at some of the professional athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Referee miss a call. They just have a hissy fit. You think it's, just turn to a little sissy out there just crying, fussing with the ref. As he transition it out, you see a kid in a high school game losing his mind like, look, son, you ain't going to get that and everything. But it's just that influence because you done seen it. And no matter if you're from Little League all the way to the pros, tell you, look, you can't win an argument with a referee.
Right.
And they say it, referee don't like it, go on to the next play.
Mm-hmm.
But you see that, you see your Russell Westbrook having a stroke and then everything. So you see it, I feel like I can do it.
Right.
Because they have that influence on you and everything. So you're just doing that. Same thing with the musicians and everything. They're doing certain things. They sagging and bagging. And
taking all the drugs.
Yeah, getting high and sipping, just going is out the damn mind. Then, and then the same thing they do. But see, when they go to jail, they can afford the legal fees right now. And, you do it. And everything follow them. And now you say you ain't got this crazy record, but it's just going into that human aspect of the influence happening on people. The second thing, media, and what I meant by media, just the news in terms of like how you can just look at certain outlets, say like a CNN, a Fox, BET. You're gonna get different slants in terms of propaganda. And people sit there, you gravitate to, I guess, what you feel more comfortable or what you want to believe.
People gravitate as far as media, as far as CNN, the Fox. They gravitate. Unfortunately, we don't get an alternative. We don't get the other side of the story or the alternative view. We always gravitate towards who thinks like we think. Mm-hmm. We don't gravitate towards who might think opposite of the way we think. Yeah. We always gravitate towards who thinks the way we think because we want to feel good about the way we're thinking.
There you go.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's one of the biggest things. A lot of times people don't really realize that a lot of stuff is just about perspective. Mm-hmm. If you feel like this is a good law, you're for it. If you feel like it's not right, you look at the what's that heartbeat law with the abortion. Uh-huh. Some people think it's just just immoral. Some people think it's just crazy to take a woman's right to do certain things. It depends who you ask.
Right. It depends who you ask.
And that's the kind of thing about what as far as news and media is just it's so slanted and influential, and what people put out is what they hear and that's what they believe.
Yeah,
and that's extremely dangerous. And that's why I think this show is so important, so we can start identifying some of these things so people
social
can
media
see it.
too. We got those social media. I think right now, to be honest with you, I think social media has more influence on us and our younger crowd more than mainstream media, more than CNN or Fox, because people are constantly on social media more than they are watching TV. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to think about that. You take this thing out your pocket and you start scrolling. It takes 2 seconds to start scrolling. So I think that social media has more of an effect and more of an influence on people right now than regular media does. That's my honest opinion. I could be wrong about that.
No, I agree with you, but the point I believe they have such a greater pull on people than news and everything is because everything's out there on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're looking at certain news outlets, you might get your perspective of what you may like, but you don't get the actual detail.
Right.
Like social media, I can find, you know, black house DJs.
Right.
I can find black accountants. I
Right.
can find black fathers. There's not a radio station or a news channel for that.
Right.
So that's the thing with social media. I can find exactly what I want to find.
Okay.
Everything's defined and everything. You can just do it, and that's the dangerous part. It's the great thing and it's a dangerous thing because you got some people that just want to hurt people.
Right.
But they can find each other on there,
On
and
there.
social media has allowed them to do that. And in their minds, they're speaking what they want to do it, but that has allowed people to find a lot of people that think like them. That's what in the news you couldn't do that in the news.
It has made the world a much, much smaller place.
Yeah, it's flat. Everything's
It's
flat. You know, and that you know that's like I said, it's a good thing, but it's also a very dangerous thing. Also, the third thing I look at is nature. That's a big influencer. And what I mean by just with nature, you know, you walk out the door, clouds, it's cloudy, you think it's gonna rain, you may change totally how you want to go about, you know, dressing or whatever.
Right.
Hot outside, might want to do this, that, and that, plan it. It must start raining. You know, just those kind of things. You know, just how weather can influence it. You know, and everything. You think you're gonna you want to plan certain events around certain thing, and it just, you know, you don't know for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, you talked about it before. That's the person. A kid told me that Friday when I went to that Edmonds Elementary. So he wanted to be a meteorologist. He threw me the hell off.
You never heard a kid say that.
I'll be a meteorologist. He told me that. Really? He said,
Right.
yeah. I said, son, you know what? They ain't a bad field. I can tell you right now, like we talked about, that's one job you ask me wrong every day. And you still got a job. Yeah, but, you know, just how weather can influence, you know, it's pretty outside.
I don't think anybody's ever thought about how weather is an influencer.
Yeah.
I've never thought about it. I've never thought about weather being an influencer, but you are exactly right. It influences your everyday.
Yeah. How you dress, how you go about it, how you make plans for different events in your life and everything, you know.
If you even go to the event.
Exactly. If that weather happens or not.
Exactly.
We just talking about just on straight predictability, you know, it's cloudy. Man, shit, man, I'm gonna go out there and cut that grass.
It don't take much for me to say that shit. It could be one cloud. I'll be like, man.
You know, and it might just be a cool overcast the whole day. You might have one little drip and you go out there like, nah, this, that, and that, and everything. Changes a lot of stuff, you know. But weather, that was the third thing I had listed. And the fourth thing I have is just yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Your attitude. Your attitude, how you look at certain things, perspectives and certain things. If you're going to be able to, you may see certain things that may be challenging. You back out of it. You don't want to do it and stuff. Your body. You wake up one day, you feeling a little funky. You don't want to do it and stuff like that. Then, you know, your body just saying, your body may be like, you know, look, I need you to walk around for about 10 more minutes and we'll be good to go. But you can't get past that 8th minute. Like, man, I head hurting, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got warmed up yet. Get up out the bed in the morning, everything popping and aching and stuff like that. You just ain't got warmed up yet.
Right.
And you just can't get past the popping and aching. You got to get back in bed or do something and everything. Headaches, stomach hurting or whatever. All those influences, and that necessarily be things that stick. But once we encounter them, like, hey, I'm just going to let that go or get out of it and stuff like that. You know? So those were the 4 types of influences.
Don't forget yourself, mind.
Yeah, mind.
Your mind.
Yeah, mind. Your mind is such a. It's probably, I always say, the greatest muscle you got, but it's also so powerful that can keep you just stuck with doing certain things. It can make you influence you to do things that, hell, you never thought you could do.
Right.
You know, but it also can sit you just be stuck somewhere. That's why it's so. When people can master, you know, using their mind in a positive way, it's nothing you can't do.
Yeah.
There's nothing you
the
can't
mind, boy, that mind have you doing things that you necessarily wouldn't want to do and necessarily you shouldn't be doing. The mind is a very strong influencer. I mean, it people really don't realize how much their thoughts, you know, control their every move, you know, control their every day. And the mind is a big influencer. Your thoughts and your mind are big influences on who you are as a person, where you're going, where you come from, where you're going to be. Just your mind does that to you.
You know certain situations you shouldn't be in, and you're like, okay, look, if I get there, you have no intention of doing certain things, but if you get there, like, no, let me know.
Right.
Look, I get there, I don't want to be drinking this week, but I get there, I know I'm going to get over there and get to drinking. Trying to stick on this diet. I know I'm going to smell that food, and I'm going to eat it, and everything. So, now, you're right on point with that and everything. So, that was a very good point. So, those are the types of influence we just went over, being people, the media, nature, yourself, and most importantly, your mind. Again, this is Deonte Burden. Our show is Changing Lives. We're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're also on the internet radio, streaming on Live 365, iHeartRadio, Apple Radio. So make sure you check it out. Go to the YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. I've been getting a lot of good feedback. I got hopefully, well, I want to put it ahead of myself. I wait till I get the deal finalized. Got me another speaking engagement.
Uh-oh.
And everything. Man, we see you on the radio. Oh, really? What? Yeah. Shit, you ain't seen nothing. When you see me in person.
I know, right?
Yeah, but that was cool. And
that's what this is for.
Yeah, exactly, and everything. So please make sure, if you are listening, you're a fan of the show and everything, you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to it. Because what I always have to remind people about is that even though we're streaming live on Facebook and Instagram, man, go to the YouTube channel. I got a show because we missed your show. I said, man, I got a whole 30 videos with those 1 to 10 minute videos, all kinds of stuff for real. I'm like, yeah, because people and I know an hour of a show is hard to digest for some people. But you people that can't eat all that cake, look, I got slices, plenty of slices.
Plenty of
slices. And all kind of different cakes. I got a minute, 2 minute and everything. We got a lot of good information on there. So please go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification button. So anytime I do an upload, because I typically put a new video out each week. So we always going to have, sometimes maybe 2. But for the most part, it's always going to be 1 video plus the radio show. That's every week. So I have, probably like 60 videos up there right now, including the shows and stuff. So we got a lot of good information on there and stuff. And as always, make sure you leave comments, leave feedback. Reach out to us if you got any questions about anything. Cause I'm extremely accessible. And I like to know what you think about the show. I meet people all the time, man. Throw me off. Man, I seen your show. Like, what? Now, what you think about it and stuff? I like it. What do you like about it and everything? I like to leave it at that,
Right.
Because I constantly want to improve. Doesn't mean I'm going to do certain things and stuff like that, but just kind of get people's opinions about, how they look at the show and everything. But it's been great, man. I'm loving it, man. Again, I want to always thank you, man, for the opportunity.
No worries.
To do this, man.
Always.
One thing about Poochie don't like shutting the hell up. So I do this all day long. Like I be cut. The music on and everything. Shut the hell up, man. But no, we do this all day. But again, make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Changing Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden. If you put Deonte Burden in the search on YouTube, they usually pops up, see the blue silhouette. And also, the next thing what we want to address is just, we just talk about the different types on a personal level, knowing who your influencers are. And I think most importantly, we probably need to do some kind of identification. We spoke earlier about those parents, siblings, mentors, coworkers, the music and stuff, knowing the people that can say certain things to you that you blindly just just listen to. And this is very important because, again, we're trying to, the basis of this show is always to create thought, get people to, to making decisions and critical thinking and reasoning. That's one of the bases of this show. So identifying those people that can have that on you, because like you just said, we just spoke about how our grandfathers impacted us.
Right.
And a lot of times, I know I never sat down and just thought about until I was an adult how much influence he had on me.
Right.
Never was manipulated by it, but a lot of people are manipulated in life by people that they have such an influence on them, and you don't really know it.
Right. That's true. That's true.
And that's the reason why we want to have this show, so you can avoid being in them kind of situations, be if you're comfortable with it or not. So you at least just identify. So again, identify who those influencers are to you. Ask yourself, how close are you to them? That is it a situation where, again, you're not going to question anything that they're going to say. You're going to always believe what they say. looking at questions in terms of how much stake do you put into what they say.
Right.
Do they just say any damn thing that you know better?
Right.
The Republicans did this, and the white man done took this, that, and that. Man, the white man never even been involved with that particular situation.
Right,
Now, they done
right.
messed up a lot of shit, but that right there in particular,
that wasn't it.
they ain't had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
And just sometimes when they just say something, you just sit there and listen. Typical barbershop talk.
Right.
And just people just talking, and everybody like listening to Mr. Jesse because he's a good soul, and he talk good. He has some good stories, but just do it. Do you ever question him? Do you ever say, well, look, hey, Uncle Jesse, how you know that, and everything? Do you want to just ask certain things in terms of, not to embarrass them, but just to get some kind of clarity for yourself?
Yeah.
Do you do that? Are you unbiased to how they see the world? Again, and like I said, I think everyone has that person or that person or thing that, no matter what they do, they hit our button.
Yeah, I think the questioning part, I think a lot of us don't question that person is because we consider the questioning to be disrespectful.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? You might, like, we might consider it being disrespectful, but it might not be disrespectful for them, but we just think it is because of who they are and how they influence us. So we just automatically don't ask any questions because we don't want to be disrespectful.
It's funny you say that because a lot of older generations take it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But being inquisitive is always kind of like shunned upon.
Right.
So the kid asks questions, stop asking all them damn questions.
Exactly.
So anytime that a person encourages thought, it's like they kind of shunned upon for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that the person being disrespectful. They're just being inquisitive, and they're trying to find out, okay, is that logical, is that right, or anything like that. Because, again, when they're asking questions, you're asking the question to see, okay, you may see another angle with doing that. Because this is the route we go. Why we go this way? It's an opening back that way.
Yeah.
So that's not them damn questions. But you're already processing while you're asking, well, we could have did that. We could have went that way and stuff. But a lot of older generations, they don't really push their kids to be inquisitive and to be thinkers. Unfortunately, we're doing it. And a lot of people do it now. Just I don't know if it's fear of just looking at disrespect or intimidation, or somebody being smart or being
probably
right.
More intimidation.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably more intimidation as to, don't ask me no questions. Or you get intimidated by the tone of a voice sometimes. So just being bullies, I guess.
Absolutely. When once you identify who your influences are, we'll go back to what we all talk about, those self-assessments, looking at what type of thinker are you, okay? Are you the type of person that, believes everything you hear, believe everything you see? Do you try to be objective with certain things? This is very, very prevalent, especially like in religion, because, again, pastor says something, that's law.
Right.
That's law. And what's funny? When most churches have Bible study, you can go 10 different churches Bible study, and they go to the same scripture, and you may get 10 different interpretations of that same scripture, and it's all about perspective,
right?
Ain't about right, who wrong, and everything like that. But you got people that are actually putting that influence that because they know these people aren't gonna question it. Now you may have some arenas where you have different people sitting down and kind of debating it and trying to say different interpretations,
right.
But for the vast majority, that's not the case. It's just more so, this is the scripture, this is how you need to understand it, especially when pastor on the pulpit, shit, what he's saying is law.
Exactly.
And if he got a real good story going on with it, oh man, that's what that means.
Right.
But I go down the street, same one, it can be something just totally different, in terms of just from a thinking standpoint. And with looking at certain things as far as dealing with influencers, like, do you question or try to research stuff on your own and everything? My oldest son, and I never knocked him for that. When I say certain things he don't like, he put his little damn phone out. He don't say nothing. And Google it. I've never,
checking it out.
Yeah, and sometimes people say like, "Oh, you always putting your damn phone out." I don't be tripping on that.
Right.
I don't be tripping on that because, again, that go back to, I can't get mad because I'm always pushing my kids. Don't believe every damn thing you hear.
Right.
Shit, I'm included in that.
Right.
Now, I'm a firm believer, and I tell my kids, look, if I tell you something, I know what I'm talking about. Because, again, if something get messed up, I got to fix the mess up,
Right.
not you. So I'm very, I'm quick to tell you if I don't know. But if I know, if I say I know it because I've actually done my research to tell them.
Mm-hmm.
But I got no problem with them. Shit, man. Shit, that ain't sound like that.
Right.
There's been times I've been wrong. Like, man, I'm sorry about that and everything. But just because I know his ass is looking, I'm very careful to make sure I'm telling facts with his ass. Very quick to tell him again. Again, this is Deonte Burden. Our show is changing lives. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe to it. Also, they're on a Majestic Business Services. Tax season is over with, but we're doing a lot of business consulting and everything going on. I'll give some of the information out in regards to chime on in with that a little bit later in the show. So, again, tonight's subject, we're talking about how much do you put into your influencers. Mm-hmm. The next thing I want to go over, and again, we're going through different steps in terms of, how people are influenced, identifying the different kind of influencers, doing that assessment of what type of person you are to see, how are you dealing with certain influences in your life, and corrective measures we can put in place so you're not easily influenced.
Right.
Not saying you're putting a point that you don't want to believe the people that you really believe and you care about, but to kind of look at yourself, are you giving that kind of blind acceptance to certain things, with people? The next thing I want to ask people, saying, do you really trust your guts and instincts? And, I tell people a lot of time intuition is very powerful because you build your intuition off your life experiences. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because once you done got burned, you get a certain feeling. Somebody say, hey, lad, look, man, I got this $1 million deal, man. You can't go wrong. You can't do this, that, and that. You done got burned a couple times, so you're just like, shit. But I done sold it so good. And you trust me. Your gut saying, hold on. But the sale is so good. Man, let me go on and do that.
Right.
And what I know, I always tell people, why would you go against certain things that life done taught you as? You know what I'm saying? Why would you go against the grain that life done already taught you? You already got burned for. Why you going to go against that? And so, and I just know from personal experience, anytime I went against my gut, shit didn't work.
Right.
It didn't work. Like I done did some deals recently. I shared with you, man. Lost a lot of damn money when I knew I should have did a little bit more due diligence. Put trust in certain things that I should have just kind of scaled back on a little bit, and it came bit me in my ass.
Right.
And everything. I'm speaking of personal experience and stuff. Just knowing that, when that thing with your intuition, because the intuition is so powerful. That's why I want people to kind of remember, like, that thing is built into you. That little guy that's sitting on your chest, he was created off bad experiences.
Right. I think people don't listen to their instincts and guts because they translate that into fear. Mm-hmm. They translate their instinct as to, I'm just, I'm tripping, or I'm scared, or I ain't scared of that, or because a lot of times instincts are telling you no, and you already told your mind yes. Mm-hmm. You've already convinced yourself, yes, I'm gonna do this. Mm-hmm. But your instinct is telling you, no, hold on. But you translate as to fear.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to be scared, so they just gonna go ahead and do it.
That's a good point.
You get what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
You've already convinced yourself that this gonna happen.
Yeah.
But when that instincts and guts kick in and tell you, no, hold on, think about this for a minute, you translate that into, I'm just being scared, or it's just fear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a real good point, because I think we talked about that before. Well, I know with me personally, I'm so damn analytical. When I brought up that analysis paralysis, I get to looking at stuff so damn hard,
right?
And I might keep myself at the starting line, never taking off, and I missed out on opportunities with that. But I guess speaking of personal experiences, if I missed out on something, I don't ever dwell on that, because again, it just wasn't meant to be. And I'm always gonna look at trusting my gut for anything, because my gut done got me a whole lot further along than me trying to do stuff, just off of emotion,
right?
Everything. So that's been my biggest thing was just going, following my gut and that intuition. That's a very, very powerful, mechanism a lot of us have inside of us that we jump over
Mm-hmm.
because just those other sensory items, those emotions and stuff like that. We want to just take advantage of. But listen to your intuition, guys. 'Cause like I say again, your life experiences created that. So I think it's very, very important you listen to that when possible. Um, Sometimes you gotta know the impact influences have on you and other people. When you sit there and now you make that assessment in terms what influences are those influences in your life, you can just look and say, okay, look, man, I'm really doing some shit that I really normally one damn do.
Right.
You know, we're sitting here doing things as a group.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty bright people. We shouldn't be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes you do that little, situational awareness, like, look, man,
I'm around people I normally wouldn't even hang around.
exactly, and stuff. So you gotta, sit down and look around sometimes and just say, hey, look, this probably is not the best thing to do, for to do and everything. So I think a lot of times we have to just kind of pump the brakes, and just with any other thing when we make bad decisions in life, that 1 second you can just stop and think.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop and think. You trust this person, whatever. Just take that 1 second to stop and think. Okay, it can just save you a whole lot of heartache and pain in life with doing it. And just again, looking at the pull that certain influences have on you and other people. Just stop 1 second, just look around to see how that affects you and other people. We go into the cast of you understand the power influences, the different kind of influences, the effect influences have on you.
Mm-hmm.
Now we go into just from looking at everything from an independent thinking standpoint. When you ask yourself sometime, are you okay with being different?
Mm-hmm.
You okay with thinking differently than everybody else? Are you okay with everybody thinking like, man, that's some bullshit, that's crazy? Are you okay with explaining your position, and also asking other people to explain theirs?
Mm-hmm.
And that get rubbed with a lot of way. Why y'all guys damn question? Why I just can't be that? And if you're an independent thinker, you don't mind people having a different opinion,
Right.
but you do mind people saying some shit to you without explaining it.
Right.
Because I want to listen to you.
Right.
I ain't even stuck on the way I think. I mean, and everything, but I want to get schooled.
Right.
And a lot of people can't. They don't know. A lot of them really can't articulate it. They may know, but they just can't, explain it to you how to do it for whatever reason. But independent thinkers, they're not uncomfortable when it comes to certain things. A lot of people, just that are group thinkers, they're very insecure.
Right.
They're very insecure. They find comfort in the mass, seeing the world the way they do. But when you get them around in an arena where they have to explain it, they can't do it.
They can't do it.
Well, tell them, Charlie. You know what I'm saying? Well, look, man, this is what we believe in. Well, you tell me why you.
Right.
And they can't do that.
Yeah.
But they find that confident there. But the independent thinker, which I encourage a lot of people to be that way, again, but that's the way I will want people to be. Like, listen, well, just explain it to me. I'm listening to you. I ain't blowing you off. I ain't calling you dumb. I ain't calling you silly. Explain it to me. And that's what they ask a lot of time for people to do that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a more of a minority in today's society than anything, because no one wants to feel rejected. No one wants to feel outside. So it's not normal to have a lot of people that are out there that's okay with being different, okay with being called certain names or whatever, with seeing certain things, because groupthink is very dangerous and it's super prevalent, especially in the black community.
Yeah, I think independent thinkers are better because they infect the society a little bit different. You have a different perspective on a lot of different things if you have independent thinkers. I like people who different, to be honest with you. I like when like you see somebody and you're like, damn, I'm the type I like artsy people, just different. I like those. Because I feel like they have a different perspective of what I may see. Their perspective may be a little different, and if I can get their perspective and my perspective, it might be a great perspective.
Absolutely.
So I've always tried to, I just like artsy people, just people who are different, but they bring a different perspective to your perspective. A lot of people don't want to steer away from their perspective.
Absolutely.
Their mind is set on the way that they see things, and they don't want, and a lot of times, and that's because their influencers have influenced them to see those things that way, and they don't want to change it.
Yeah. People don't understand the power of having different minds and opinions, because just like me and you, a rapper, you talk to other people, and everybody kicking out these different ideas. I'm like, damn, man, I ain't even think about it that way. And you never know how, because when you're dealing with groupthink, that's it. It's gonna be static. It's gonna be that. We're always gonna do the same way. It can be working efficiently and effectively, but sometimes when you put in a certain other aspects of it, a different kind of perspective, it can change the whole dynamic. You thought you were doing it smooth, man. We can be doing it super smooth. That's what I'm saying. And everybody's not comfortable with change.
Right.
Everybody not comfortable with change. Again, that key word, insecurities, where people just they don't want to feel that it may be someone smarter than them. It may be a better situation than what they're doing, instead of looking for that, and everything. And that's probably one of the biggest things. I know, like in a lot of business schools, they push a lot of innovation, different ways of thinking. Thinking outside the box. A lot of people always say think outside the box because it's cliche, but a lot of people don't really think outside the box. They just try to get like a little silly idea, but with just, thinking outside the box is how we have an Airbnb, how we have an Uber and a Lyft, those kind of things. That's thinking outside the box, where you disrupt whole industries.
And they gotta answer to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be straight up with you, brother. What we do, it's so funny. If you think about it, and you see the radio station, I was telling my wife one time, God, who was that? I think Wanda Smith left V103. Not saying that had anything to do with it, but it was just to the point where we were talking about just radio. How, radio is high when you start talking about advertising promotion.
Right.
Like you said, now you can sit here, you can use social media, pay crumbs in terms of advertising promotion, hit your target audience for a fraction of the price you were doing with radio. Total disruptor. Total disruptor. And that's, again, like I said, this all come from what? Thinking outside the box.
Outside the box.
Not going traditional paths and stuff for doing everything. And most people just don't do that and everything. Again, this is Deonte Burden. Our show is Changing Lives. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe to it. Again, put in Deonte Burden in the YouTube, because Changing Lives, I'm seeing now the show may pop up, but definitely put Deonte Burden. You'll see that blue silhouette. Hit the subscribe button, also the notification bell, and got a lot of good information on you. With that said, I'm going to give you guys 5 tips on how to reduce the influence of other people in your life. Okay, those 5 tips. Let's start. The first one is, number one, know your own thoughts. Know who you are. Open your mouth when you feel like something ain't right or whatever. Be that man or woman. Just know who you are. If you know who you are, a lot of stuff just not even going to even go in your mind or even consideration.
Right.
Not saying you're going to listen to people, but you just know, look, that really is not applicable to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it's just very important to know who you are as an individual. Okay? The second thing is, just say no. Shit. That will stop so much BS in your life if you just say, no, they ain't how I look at it. Well, why? I just don't believe that. Right. Whatever. Even if you don't want to go through a long, drawn-out explanation and stuff, no is a classic response to give to a lot of people.
And no is okay.
Yeah.
People think no is rude, but no is okay. Sometimes you have to say no in order to make yourself. If you want to do something like me, I like to do things to the best of my ability. But if I know that I can't accomplish that thing to the best of my ability, I'm going to say no to it.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not going to give you some half-ass. Now, if I do it thinking I'm doing it to my best of my ability and it still comes out half-ass, but I tried. But I'm not going to go into something and give you half of my ability and say yes to it if I know I could just said no.
Absolutely.
No is always good, because the person asking, it leaves them from grief and it leaves you from grief.
Absolutely.
You don't have any grief because I told you no.
Yeah.
And you don't have any grief because you're not going to be getting half-ass from me and then stressing about it later on.
Absolutely. And even with there is some fear sometimes, especially with a person influential, to say no, it's a quick response where you ain't got to do no explanation, leave it at that. Just say no, and that's it. The third thing I think is very important, don't excuse or justify shit. Okay? You know, they old. They raised me. They earned the right to say what they got to say. You know, they in charge. No, don't justify that shit.
Right.
No, hell no, no, hell no.
They don't know no
No,
better.
hell no. Exactly. Man, let him talk, man. No, hell no. Because when you do that, you've also did what? Gave him the point to keep on damn doing the shit.
It, right?
You know, so no, don't excuse or justify shit that somebody doing when they try to push that on you, because you'll sit there and say, okay, I just let, grandma keep talking to this, that, and that. Next thing you know what they done did. Now they telling your children. Some shit that you totally didn't agree with. Now they trying to sway them now. Your daddy don't listen to this, that, and that. And then, or they may be, from, business partners or whatever. Just, no, don't justify shit. Nip it in the bud. No. They, people have earned certain rights with age and experience and stuff like that. But you know those rights. They do not have the right to impose their views on you where it's uncomfortable for you to try to influence your behavior. They don't. No one has that damn right but you. Yeah. So don't excuse or justify anything. That's very, very important. The fourth thing is, just choose your peers wisely. People just by association have a lot of unconscious influence on you. You can be with your buddy all the time and everything. Just some of the shit that they do or believe in,
take up.
just rub on your ass.
That's really true.
Yeah,
that's really true.
And you gotta be very careful for it. And you can be the most strong-willed person, cause we all have friends that you have your best friends. Y'all be working in different kind of industries or whatever. But just some of the shit that they do, it may rub the wrong way. But some of the shit that's really silly, it stick on you,
right?
Because you around they silly ass all the damn time.
That's true.
And everything. So, and it's not really an issue unless it becomes a hindrance or affects your life in a negative way. And especially in terms of just complaining and missing out. Some folks are always talking about, misfortunes or missteps they had in their life and want to blame everybody else. And that damn, bug starts biting your ass because you around them so damn much. Instead of you saying, look, let me go on and fix it.
Right.
So you got to be very careful with your peers and stuff like that. And if you're strong-willed enough to know, okay, look, that's my buddy. That's how they think. I don't think that way. That's fine. But the vast majority of people not like that.
That's
not
true.
like that. You have your things that you're independent about with your friends. You have some things that you just, because you're around their ass all the damn time, it done rubbed on you. So that's one of the things, kind of be very careful, who your peers are that you're with. And lastly, call them out sometime. Hey, man, no, I understand you think on it, but that shit wrong. That's how you feel. That's what you believe in. Stop pushing that shit on me.
Right.
Stop trying to push that shit on my kids. Stop trying to, when I'm in certain areas, keep talking about the things that I'm doing because you don't like it, but it's cool for me. And I respect that, and I respect what you do. So ain't never calling their ass out sometimes and just checking folks. Look, man, that ain't
the way it goes.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what you think. Leave that shit at that and everything. I respect you. I love you. I care about what you say, but that's for you and everything. You have to do that sometimes. So again, those ways to reduce the influence people have on others is, number one, know yourself and know your own thoughts. The second thing is just say the word no. The third thing, which I think is super important, don't excuse try to justify shit that people say or do, just because it come out of their mouth. Leave it at look. That's cool for you. Fourth thing, choose your peers and who you associate with wisely. Again, because like I say, sometimes just being around people, some stuff just rub on you. And you ain't think, you next thing you know, you saying, damn, that fool be saying that shit all the time. I really don't even think that way.
Right.
And lastly, call them out sometime. Look, man, that's cool for you, but it ain't necessarily the deal for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's your true friend or whatever. They'll understand that. Even if it's just an associate that you deal with in work or certain other kind of paths, they should be able to respect that also. Just this how you think, this is how I think, and everything. And if they don't, it'll be all right too. With that said, with concluding the show, I want to really push the people, be fine with who you are. Be fine with who you are. Be fine with the person that you are in life. Be fine with the path you've chosen. I'm not saying not to listen to nobody, not to get advice from other people, but you just got to be very careful of, the influence you let others have on you. When you sit there and empower people to have that blind influence on you, your children, or different things like that, it can affect you in such a crazy way. So I just want really to push the people, just be very, very careful. Who you give that trust to, that influence to. So nothing wrong. Like I said, be your own woman, be your own man, be your own person. Again, and understand those people in your life, they got that effect on you, and understand those situations where when they put it on you, you kind of let logic kind of disappear. That's some way you can kind of correct that. Okay, around my dad and shit like that. I know I can kind of get, I need to kind of just kind of keep my guard up so I don't slip into that and everything. So I think that's super important. So we gave you guys a lot of good information tonight. Again, this is Change Your Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. I want to bring back some of the stuff I was talking about earlier. Since tax season over, I am the owner of Majestic Business Services. We are a full-scale business service firm offering bookkeeping, tax prep, payroll, and most importantly, consulting services. Tax season is over with right now, so we're really pushing, to get more payroll and bookkeeping clients. So again, you got anybody that's number one looking to start a business, give us a call, because we do all that front end consulting, business creation, formation services. Hold your hand from the very beginning when you say, hey, I want to start this particular business. We help you create that business. Hold your hand through the whole process in terms of you need accounting, if you need payroll, you need a tax consultant. Everything you need, we'll be able to structure it with doing it. So I want you to make sure you go to our website, majesticbiz.com. That's www.majesticbiz.com. I got links you can just hit for schedule an appointment. I got links on there. If you want to form your own company, you know what you want to do, you hit on that. Go through the application process to get everything set up to form your LLC, your C Corp, your S Corp. If you know you need payroll, you want to get everything set up, you need some W-2s or 1099 set up for your contractors, I got the link set up there. You hit it, the payroll button link, fill out the paperwork, send it to it. Anything you need, we got it covered. Book an appointment. You see the scheduling out, book an appointment. I got appointments available for 30-minute sessions, a whole hour sessions. If you need tax preparation services, you can hit on the link from there. Anything you need, we got you covered. Right. Okay? So, make sure you go to our website, majesticbiz.com. We're real passionate about entrepreneurship, real passionate about people following their dreams and stuff. So I hope our show touched you in a positive way tonight. Because, again, I think this is something that's really, really needed, because a lot of influencers have really had a great positive impact on our community, but it's also had a tremendous negative impact because you got the wrong people influencing. And so I just want, as always, push independent thinking, push independent living, most importantly, just priding yourself and knowing who you are. Just self-awareness is very, very important. A lot of people don't do it and everything. Again, I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's show. I got I'm going to tell you guys, the month of May, like I said, tax season, I think I put some good shows out the past couple months. Yeah. But I ain't got taxes on my mind. I'm finna deliver some real dope shows the next month and everything. So I think you guys gonna be super excited what we got coming to you guys in the following months. Also, we're gonna be promoting those webinars, the courses, other business products we're gonna be offering out to you guys. So hey, listen, if you thought we were hitting it hard this first quarter of the year, you ain't seen nothing yet. That's right. But most importantly, again, this is Changing Lives. Go to the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe to it. Tell all your family and friends about it. I love you guys. Thanks for all the support, and I see everyone next week. Take care of yourself.